It's a very simple topic, and it's
Right.
one you've been doing for 18 years. So
Yeah.
I think you're apt for the role.
Well, I trust God. And, you know, it's something that we keep learning.
Of
Because
course.
The roles are changing from time to time.
Exactly, as the need arises.
Yeah, so it's something that we keep getting better at and learning about.
First of all, I want you to describe your role as a husband in your family.
Wow. Well, thank you. The role, my role as a husband,
Yes.
is that of primarily a lover. You know, God actually commands the man to love his wife. And you see, so when I say that I have a role as a lover, that is actually first flowing from that command that God demands and commands that I should love my wife.
Okay.
All right. So while I also love my children, you know, there is an order. You know, the children were not there anyway. They were just potentials back then, 18 years ago. Okay, so they joined the boat. All right. But the first person that we are talking about here is the woman. And God has actually commanded that husband should love his wife. I love my children, you know, but
of course not in the same capacity.
They're actually different. The kind of love that we are to demonstrate, you know, differs because these two entities too are also different even
people,
though we are all in the family.
Of course.
But here, the command is to love your wife, and every other thing should flow from there.
From there. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. You've been married 18 years?
Yes, ma'am. 18
years. Has the journey been smooth?
Well, because life itself is not smooth. Okay, so as sojourners on this path too, you will expect that at times it can be smooth, at times it can be bumpy, you know, like that, ups and downs. And this is also true for the living. It's only the dead that you actually find, you know, just plateau like that. But as long as we are alive, we go through ups and downs because that's actually the stuff life is made of.
Of course.
And likewise too, you know, in marriage, you cannot rule out that reality of ups and downs. But God has been helping us these 18 years, and I trust that He will continue to help us.
That's wonderful. So the focus people have on husbands is that you should be able to provide, you should be able to protect, and you should be able to lead, which are primary roles, really, of course. But you mentioned love, being a lover of your wife.
Yeah.
Now, how can you translate that to exhibit itself in the primary roles that we have enumerated?
All right. You see, that is really, it's just natural. And God commands the ultimate wisdom. So when He said that the man should love his wife, you really cannot seemingly protect someone that you do not love. Or you will see that love will actually drive that command to protect your wife. So every other thing flows from love. If you love your wife, you will protect her. You will make sure you provide for her, provide for the family. And so you see that there's really nothing you can take away from the primary role of a husband loving his wife. So whether it's protection, whether it's provision, whether it's being there for her, and just name it, you see love, playing a pivotal role in our exhibition of these other obligations that the marriage puts on the man.
When we say, I am a woman, and I know that every woman craves attention.
Correct.
Yes. So one way that I love receiving attention is when you spend time. And I think that is how we are knit as women. So what are the things you do particularly to spend time with your wife?
Wow. in a very pressured environment like Lagos,
yes.
that actually can be a tough call. But the truth is the truth. You see, someone said that if you are just staying together with a woman and you are not really fulfilling your role as a husband, what you have is not marriage, but damage. And that can be very true when you don't give attention to your wife. And, you know, it can be for all the very good reasons. It might be that you are overly busy at work and you think you have the responsibility of providing, of getting the money in and making sure that everything is running. But why this is very, very important, if you allow that to take the place, I mean, look at what happened in the garden. You know, we keep wondering that Adam and Eve.
Okay.
So we are wondering, where did the devil sneak in to be passing all this kind of distorted information to the wife? So apparently there must have been that there is a gap. So when we don't spend time with our wife as husband, what we are doing is that we are giving gaps. And you know, nature, they say, you know, abhors vacuum.
Yes.
You know, so if we don't fill in that time by giving attention, time in College of Marital Success, which my wife and I attend, of Pastor B.C. Adewale, we are taught there's a key, one of these key elements of relationship and marriage. They call it ITT, you know, intimate talking time. Intimate talking time, that's what they call it. And the whole idea is that you have, you know, dedicated time. You ensure that you create time to talk with your wife. Now, different families are different, settings are different. So you must find out and work out a way that you are, regardless of what the pressure of your work is, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, so whether you are the president, whatever your background is professionally and otherwise, you must create time that you and your wife, for me, for instance, for my own family, at times the bathroom is our talking time. Okay? You might be wondering how long do you stay in the bathroom, that, you know, but you know, and so it might not be that long, but because we have our baths together, we can talk, you know, we can resolve issues, you know, and these are some of the things that you can take for granted. But they are actually levers that can actually help the family. So if, for instance, now you take a bath together, whatever happens that you're not doing that, you know that there's already a breakdown. And you begin to know that these are red flags and you need to work things to get yourself back and so on and so forth. So in a nutshell, having time to show affection, to talk, to discuss with your wife is a very, very critical requirement and a responsibility of a man to the wife.
Good. But when we look at scenarios where the husband has to travel for weeks, sometimes months, how is he able to fill that gap while he's away?
Well, it's that is very, very correct, and there are some people.
Because of course he has to provide.
Yeah, there are people like that in that very scenario, but thank God for technology. Okay, if this is something that you have been doing before, the fact that distance now creates a barrier, technology can help you to bridge that. You know, it's really not the best. Okay, it's really not the best. As a man and a woman, you know. Fine, all kinds of pressure exist in the world today.
Of course.
But what God, in his own design, you know, will have us to do is for the husband and the wife to be living in the same city, in the same town, okay, as much as possible. You know, I way back some time ago, I was listening to one Dr. Shoeton in one of missionary courses that we did with Capro. And the man was saying that when he went for one of his courses in somewhere outside Nigeria, he said he actually went with the wife. You know, and some people were like wondering, blah, 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 what exactly is this? What's the sense in this? The wife was cooking for him. Of course, that was also reducing costs because of the eating out, you know, would be reduced. And because of the fact that the two of them are actually together. Their family survives. You see, in Israel, okay, when there is the time of war, why do you think that God commands that those who are newly married should be exempted from war? It is because of things like this, you know, coming together, you know, being together, bonding together, having time to talk together. Yeah, fine. So if now the realities of the new world, of the demands of the times, has now made it so that a man is separated from the woman, you must do as much as you can to make sure you use whatever you can get to bridge that gap. So whether you are doing Zoom, whether you are doing Google Meet, whether you are doing WhatsApp video calls like that, just to have that FaceTime, you just have to do it. And I think that could help.
When my daughter was away in school, that was one of the primary ways we were speaking with her.
Correct.
You know, when we do audio and she's sounding depressed, I say, I want
turn
to see
on
your
the video.
Face. Yes,
right.
Let me see. So what's even happening? From the gestures, you know, looking at her, I could pick one or two things that I was able to address and talk about. And at the end of the day, we were all the better for it. We were all the better for it. Now let's talk about respect.
Respect.
Yes. They say that the Bible, like you earlier mentioned, commands the man to love his wife and the woman to respect her husband. Now, when that respect is not forthcoming, what does the man do? Or how is the man supposed to manage that situation?
Yeah, the scripture I was referring to at the opening was actually Ephesians 25. And it is simply that husband, love your wife. And he went further to say, you know, how? As Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. Now, so you see, talking about respect, respect is reciprocal, they say, and it is true to a very large extent. Now, so if a wife is not respecting the husband is the head, okay, then we should go back, or as a man, we must look inward and begin to ask questions that, why is this woman acting like this? Don't forget, we talked about the issue of loving your wife. God did not say that you should love your wife if she respects you. No, the command is that you love your wife. All right? So, regardless of, you love your wife. And it's a very tall order. It's a very, very tall one. So, but out of that love, you want to begin to check yourself to say, what have I done? Is it in the area of my own duty, my own responsibility? Am I failing my responsibility that is actually causing a ripple effect that is making this woman to, you know, turn around to behave like this? So, and if we search like that, and with a humble heart and trusting God to help, we might be able to, we should be able to get to the point of what exactly is causing this. And talking about the talking time, you know, we can, before it actually spirals or gets out of hand, we can say, Madam, say, it's busy because of that. I will find that money. I said I will give it to you. This one you are,
why is it money you mentioned?
Money. Any woman that does not love money, I wonder whether the woman is the woman. It's probably a demon. You know, money.
We don't love money. We just need money.
So we are saying the same thing. Anyway, maybe loving money is not the right word. But the truth of the matter is no money, no honey. You know, money is the wheel. Oil. You know, is the oil that, you know, that oils the gospel. The gospel of marriage. So it's actually very essential. So it could be in the area of finance. Okay. Whatever it is that might be the cause of the woman not respecting the husband, we should go and check ourselves.
Okay.
Am I failing in my responsibility?
Okay.
So, because if the man loves the wife, it is, yeah. So let's say that the man is doing well.
Okay.
Okay, is doing well. Is providing. It is not very common that you will have the woman behaving like that. Now, if the man has done his own part, and the woman is still, for whatever reason, because, you know, because marriage is a very complex thing.
It is.
It is very complex. And that's why God calls it a mystery. Marriage is a mystery. And that is why at times people come from different backgrounds to try to address marriage, but they don't address the fact that it's a mystery. God calls it a mystery. And if it's a mystery, the one that calls it a mystery should be relied on to unravel this mystery. So I said in closing that if we find a situation where the woman disrespects the wife,
the husband,
I will suggest that I look inward. I will try to see where I have failed.
Okay.
I will try to work on myself, because ultimately the man takes the bulk, the responsibility for the success of the marriage. There's so much load that is on the man.
Yes.
Unfortunately, whatever reality is now, there's no excuse that the man has. The role of the husband in a marriage is a very big role, and that is why marriage is not for boys. Okay, so the man has a very, very big role to play. You know, even if the wife goes out, you know, of the way to disrespect him, you still have a responsibility to make sure you fight for your marriage and make sure that you win your wife back and get her back, whether you are going to pray, whether you are going to fast, whether you are going to, you know, whether you are going to seek counsel, whether you are going to love her more, you know, whatever you have to do, there's actually a lot of responsibility on the man.
On the man. On the man. But you know, for some men, is it ego now that we call it? It comes to play. They say, why do I have to make sure she's all right? Why do I have to be the one? I'm the head. I'm the man. I'm the husband. She should bow to my will. You know, so humility plays a huge role in trying to make sure that your wife is happy and your wife is content. But for some that this can be difficult, what do you suggest they do?
Talking about the issue of humility, issue of ego, the man has a responsibility, while the woman also has a responsibility.
Yes.
That complements, you know, one another. The role of the husband, the role of the wife, they are complementary.
Yeah.
But the man has the role of the head. On his head lies the head that wears the crown.
Yeah, on his lies the head.
That's a popular saying.
Yes.
But you see, so that you are humble does not mean that you are weak. Okay, in fact, when there is a quarrel, talking about crisis, that's another big issue on, you know, on its own. Talking about crisis, the mature person should be the one that should seek for reconciliation first. Okay, so as a man that is the head, endeavor to be that one. Okay, because there is so much we will get when everything is running. I mean, this is actually goes for both ways. Goes for the woman, goes for the children. When there is peace, when there is love, when there is joy in the house, everybody is, you know, playing around, you know, enjoying yourself, enjoying the presence of God. You can pray and, you know, trust God to answer your prayer. You can have a serene environment. Oh, the Bible says that to have a nagging wife in the house, you know, it's better to be a janitor in a small place than have a nagging house in a palace. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that being humble does not mean that you are not strong. Okay, that you are not strong. Don't forget that you are the head, and there's so much responsibility on you. If you do all you can to bring your wife back, to win your wife, you know, as the head, everybody will say that, look at that Lagbaja's family, look at that man's family, look at that man. You will actually, you know, the pride is yours. The credit will go to you, even though the woman is the one behind you. You understand? But, you know, so whatever we do, and that's why we have to be careful. You are looking outside and you think you don't know what goes on behind the scene.
Of course,
you don't know what people are doing to keep
homes.
their homes together.
Yes.
And you are saying that because of what you are seeing, which you are not at the vantage point to see what is happening. You say, this man does not do this, doesn't do that. Do you think that is all to it? There are many more things that happen behind the scene that you do not know.
Of course.
But the truth of the matter is that as a man, if you have to be humble to actually make sure you get your wife to communicate, then you have to do that. Get to the crux of the matter, resolve it, and go in peace. Enjoy the peace of God. Enjoy the joy and all the beautiful things that God intends for the marriage.
Thank you very much, sir. So you've been watching Doing Family with Bunmi. The family is the building block of the society, and that is why it's very important that we assert the role of the husband, because he is the head of the home. When we return, we'll be looking at deeper levels of this topic. Stay with us. We'll be back.